Hey guys, I'm back with another late night can't sleep video, another on the road Walmart find that I wanted to share with you guys. I saw this in a store and I immediately said that looks pretty cool, I want to check it out. And price was pretty good for all this. The price was actually really good for everything in this. So this is just labeled as the Kershaw 3-piece set. In this one package you get what they label as a 3.5-inch knife, the TX tool, and then the Cinder knife. And I've had somebody on the channel ask me what I thought of the Cinder very recently. I have a Cinder that I've been messing with. It's a very, very small knife, but you know, we'll talk about my impressions of it as we go through this. I've never seen this particular model before, and I've wanted to try the TX tool out. This is just a kind of small tool, screwdriver that's focused on, you know, knives, Kershaw knives specifically, for blade maintenance and such. So this is a great little item to pick up. I'm really curious about this knife because I have never seen that particular one. It looks a little bit like a Skyline, but it's not. But I guess we should just get into this, shouldn't we? You don't see me using Moras very often. I have a big collection of them, but we'll actually use one. This is the Mora Basic 511. This is the carbon steel version. So I've looked online. I've searched. I've done what I can. I cannot find an actual name for this knife. All I can find is the model number on here, 1335. And when you search that, the only thing you come up with is this promotional 3-piece set. There's not a separate model for this knife that I've been able to find. Interestingly, if you look, it shares some lines a little bit with the hot wire that we looked at very recently. It's a bigger blade though, of course, and I like this one a lot better. Handle's bigger, fits my hand a lot better, bigger blade. However, the liner is thinner and smaller, so the lock is a bit smaller, but it still has the speed safe system, which always, you know, fires true and lovely. Really nice stone wash instead of the traditional Kershaw bead blast. It comes with a deep carry clip, which I love. It's still positionable left and right, but tip up carry only. Plastic scales, and like a lot of the cheaper Kershaw knives these days, the 3CR13 steel for the blade. Now I think that this is a great EDC size. It's light, it's relatively thin, won't take up a lot of room in your pocket. Spring assist. Centering is just a little off, but towards the lock side, which is odd because normally when centering is off, it's away from the lock side with the lock putting a little pressure on it, but just slightly off. It reminds me of the Kershaw Skyline a lot. Just a very simple blade though. This is something I would carry around and I would just test it out a little bit. Decent size, great weight. And it would appear razor sharp right out of the package. Let's get the old arm going. Yeah. And it will shave the arm right there. So, nice little knife. I don't know if this would be my primary with the 3CR13 steel, but definitely something I would carry around and try out, and especially for the price we're paying for this whole thing. You know? There are similar knives that you would probably pay close to the price for the whole package just for the knife. So, we'll call it the primary. Not bad. Let's take a look at the Cinder. Now, the Cinder I know is a Rick Hinderer designed Kershaw knife. Do we call this a knife? I don't know. It is so teeny tiny. It's about an inch long blade. It's a little tiny liner lock. You've got a bottle opener on it. I'm going to put together another video in the future called Stop the Bottle Opener Madness. But it's, you know, just a really Very, very small little utility blade that you can put on a keychain or some other kind of gear. And I actually have trouble opening it sometimes because it's such a tiny little thing. Now, what would this be really useful for? I'm not sure. To be honest, I haven't come up with a really good use for the Cinder I already have, besides just carrying around a little tiny knife and messing with it in the car or something like that. It also is shaving sharp right there out of the package. It's hard to do a paper test with a blade this small, but you can see it's doing it. It's just hard to get enough traction on the paper to actually cut stuff. But after shaving a little spot on my arm and a few little cuts on the paper, you can see it comes honed really perfectly. It's a really different kind of shape too. And I guess because it's so small, they have to make it fit just perfectly in the hand for you to be able to use it. Now, if you need a small blade for really fine control, this is really great for that, because you have really good control over the tip right there and the rest of that blade just by the nature of how tiny it is and how you can hold it. You can really maneuver that very precisely if you want to. Because it's so small, it weighs nothing. It weighs almost really like nothing. If you did want to put it on a keychain or something else, I'm sure it wouldn't be very obtrusive at all. Then finally we've got the TX tool, and I was even thinking about picking one of these up all by itself. What I like about this is that it's a small tool that I have just dumped on the ground. It comes with 5 of these little micro bits with some of the most common star driver sizes and a flathead. Unfortunately, can you see in there? 3 of them got stuck and I'm having trouble getting them out. So that is something to be aware of if you're thinking of buying this. I'm going to pause tape for a minute and I'm going to get those things out. I ended up using the front sight adjustment tool on my Leatherman Mutt to get the rest of these little bits out. So like I was saying before, it comes in some of the most common sizes for working on knives, for handle screws, pivot screws, things like that. And they all fit in a magnetic holder right there. Good tool if you want to have something on the go that's small, compact, and you're able to do some basic maintenance on a majority of knives. Now obviously there's going to be a lot of knives out there that all of these little things are not going to fit into. It does concern me that those bits were so easily stuck in there. I don't know if now that I've gotten them out the first time, if they'll be less likely to get stuck, but I'm not always going to have a front sight adjustment tool to help me get these bits out. So I don't know if that was, like I said, just like a one-time getting them out of the package once, or if that's something I need to be concerned about in the future. Yeah, see? I got them bunched up again. I guess anytime they can get bunched up in there, there's the potential for that happening. And that's something you want to be aware of. But in general, I like any small tool that I can carry around that just gives me the option to adjust some kind of tension on my pivots. If you're going to do any kind of maintenance, on a knife, just somewhere out in the world, it's probably going to be either adjusting a clip screw or maybe adjusting the tension on the pivot a little bit to mess with the centering, or just get that blade, working right in the sweet spot to have it nice and smooth at any point. I have not managed to find this particular set sold anywhere besides Walmart. You can find it on eBay, but I think it's kind of like a Walmart exclusive, and they have done that before with a few different knives, made kind of exclusive Kershaw Walmart partnerships. So overall, I think it's a worthwhile investment. I think for the price, the price is right. I think that this is a really interesting knife. I'd really like to carry it around a little bit and just see how it gets me through the day. Even alone, not carrying anything else, just having just this on me, doing some, work in the workshop, just daily activities, stuff like that. You got your Cinder for your tiny little operations, backup, whatever, and then you've got your tool to maintain stuff. I think it's definitely worth picking up. But that's just one guy's opinion. You guys choose on your own. As soon as the moving truck gets here and I get all the rest of my stuff unpacked, we can actually go ahead and start the giveaway. But you know, most of that stuff is packed up on the truck right now. So soon, really soon, guys, promise. Another plug for the Q&A video. I'm going to be doing the Q&A video in about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 days. So questions for docp@gmail.com. You guys remember the last one. I'll put a link to the last Q&A video in the video description if you haven't seen it. I'll answer any questions you guys want to ask me, and you just go ahead and see some of the questions that people ask me in that one. I will answer any question. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. I'll be back again real soon.